the human realm, the heavenly realm, and the boundary realm. These three are the realms that exist in this world. These realms are possible because of something known as the spirit aura. These auras must circulate between the three realms to maintain balance. The black and white warriors, who connect the spirit aura, come from the boundary realm. Just then, two black and white warrior kids are fighting against a beast in a smoky appearance in the middle of the night. Suddenly, one of the kids gets caught in midair in the monster's claws as the other kid screams Zayabai. Suddenly, an alarm clock chimes and wakes up the other kid named Zayohe, who hurries to wake up Zayabai, who happens to be his sister. They both dash off in the direction of a big castle, where we meet their boss, Master Yama. He looked upset that the kids arrived late and inquired about an update on their assignments. Both reply that they haven't finished their tasks, which enrages Master Yama. He drives them from the castle and orders them to resume their duties. The ship transports the siblings to the human realm, where they witness a young child beating up several men attempting to squeeze money from him. The child's supernatural abilities eliminate the last man in his way. Zayabai and Zayohe show up immediately and realize that the kid is spirit-possessed. The ghost's strength causes the warrior youngsters to feel a little afraid as they pull their weapons out. They decide to use a different approach, which involves going on the defensive in an almost evasive manner and wearing down their adversary. They obviously try to flee and ask the ghost search team for assistance, but the spirit gets hold of them. They witness an unknown force as they discover a spirit who is now the beast they fought earlier on. The beast follows them to the rooftop as Zayabai wields her chain-like weapon and elevates into midair. Suddenly, the beast rises and claws Zayabai, who gets caught by Zayohe to prevent her from falling to the ground. The monster rises to attack the children, but a female warrior stops him and aids the kids in fending off the beast. With a skillful strike, the warrior hits the beast with her sword, leaving a huge lightning blast. Zayohe recognizes the warrior as the strongest black and white warrior, after which Zayabai wakes up. The spirit is ultimately defeated, and the female warrior flees before the kids notice. A strong spirit goes down on other wandering spirits escaping from a closed space. A group rushes to secure the seals and simultaneously alert the palaces in other realms. In the meantime, Master Yama reprimands Zayabai and Zayohe for failing to slay the wandering spirit. When Zhang Kui, a general, unexpectedly shows up at Master Yama's residence. He is shown to be the child's caregiver, and he even goes so far as to ask Master Yama whether they can temporarily settle in his home. Zhang predicts that the seals of Tianchai will soon breach as Yama's secretary assigns the kids another duty. The kids are back in the human world, watching a cartoonist at work. It turns out that the children are there to make the man's death appear to be an accident to transport the man's soul to the boundary world. They notice the man getting into a cab and immediately pursue him after searching for a flower pot to drop on his head. The ghosts attempt to escape the seal while this is happening beneath the water. Zayohe dresses as a homeless person and tries to hold him in place while Zayabai searches for a flower pot. When the man offers the boy money, Zayohe declines because the money won't even purchase a meal. Instead of leaving, the man gives him a sandwich and leaves. Zayabai returns to tell her brother that she couldn't find any flower pots in the office complex. On getting to the office, the man is chased away by the editor when she rejects his manga. Zayohe took control of the editor to force the man to kill himself. On the roof, the man thinks back on the past years as he sees his friend, who he had assumed was interested in him, having a romantic relationship with another man. Then we discover that Zayohe is pulling all these stunts to kill him. The children watch the man jump to death as Zayabai doubts her brother's honesty. Then Zayohe recalls the sandwich the man had given him earlier and suddenly feels guilty. To save the man, the kids then dive to the ground. He sees his editor running in his direction as he emerges unscathed, and the editor extends an offer of publication. The kid sobs when the man is saved because he just failed their mission by saving the man rather than killing him. As Zayohe recalls what transpired, he realizes that he has been abducted from his sister by a spirit monster. He discovers himself in an unknown setting. Meanwhile, Zhang chastises Zayabai for stirring up trouble. Zayabai told Zhang that they were merely attempting to assist an elderly man in fulfilling his final desire when a monster suddenly attacked them. Now that a guard has revealed that the seal could break at any moment, Zhang proceeds to give the order to send more people down there. In the meantime, Zayohe tries to devise a strategy of escape, but he is at a loss when Zayabai's apparition appears before him and inquires why he left her alone. He rushes to her, but the image abruptly vanishes. While on the ship, the general explains the story of how 99 wandering spirits were captured and sealed underwater. When the seal is finally broken, the water below becomes red before exploding, unleashing tremendous energy into the universe. A whistle can be heard while Zayohe is elsewhere thinking back on his time spent with Zayabai. He stops in front of a giant statue as he runs in the direction of the sound. At that moment, a man at the statue's front looking very evil begins to laugh. The spirit hunters labor arduously to prevent the spirits from entering the human realm once the seal has been shattered. from the seal, a huge monster spirit appears and challenges Zhang and his men. They instantly knew that this was the 100 Ghost Spirit. Xiaohui is preoccupied with his own foe at the moment. This man immediately restrains Xiaohui in chains after beating him. The man admits to Xiaohui that he is trapped behind the seal together with other vicious spirits. Meanwhile, Zhang and the 100 Ghost Spirit reunited when they returned outside and started fighting. While approaching the ship, the one spirit jumped toward Zhang with his huge palm aiming to smash him. Suddenly, Zhang makes a single move with his spear as he tears the spirit apart. Instead of having Xiaohui mutate into a monster like the 100 Ghost Spirit, he intends to set the building on fire. He told the spirit hunters to ready the Jinko cannon. Back down, Xiaohui quickly escapes his shackles. He summons a magical sword and cuts down the chains. He observes as the man who is provoking him absorbs the spirits. Eventually, he is unaware that another creature is lurking behind him. Back on the ship, Xiaobai and the general are trying to prevent Zhang from going into the seal as Lu Shu suddenly makes an entrance. Zhang declares that he will save Xiaohui when he returns to the ship. He entrusts the general to fire the Jinko cannon and destroy the Great Seal if Zhang is not back in an hour. Lu Shu comes and Zhang gives her custody of Xiaobai. To locate Xiaohui, Zhang leaps inside the seal. While this is happening, Xiaohui quickly destroys the creature lurking behind him with a single strike. The individual who finally identifies himself as Sang Wuzhai assaults him since he appears to know Xiaohui intimately. At this moment, Xiaohui is using his sword to chase the wandering spirits surrounding him. Wuzhai keeps attacking Xiaohui and even manages to wrap himself around the boy's torso with the spirits. Breaking free, Xiaohui absorbs the spirit inside of himself through his hands. Zhang rushes to the seal's entrance as spirits begin to escape through the oceans, but he is stopped by his foes who want vengeance for sealing him years earlier. As he reclines, Xiaohui continues to absorb the spirits into himself. Wuzhai observes everything and says that Xiaohui needs to absorb more spirits to become stronger and rejoin his team. Suddenly, Xiaohui collapses, releasing a massive blast of immense energy before he changes into a grown man. Meanwhile, the general watches the ship as another unusual spirit enters their meter in the meantime, and immediately assumes it is Xiaohui. Initially, her brother doesn't have any spiritual strength, which causes Xiaobai to feel perplexed. On the other side, Wuzhai welcomes Xiaohui as he addresses him by his real name, Wang Heng. He makes a heavy punch and Xiaohui is prepared for the attack. As he blocks the attack, Xiaohui wastes no time sending Wuzhai into midair with a whirlwind kick. Wuzhai annoyingly draws out a sword and Xiaohui dodges his first attack as he resorts to a back kick which slips the sword off Wuzhai's hands. Wuzhai catches the sword from midair and attempts to strike Xiaohui. Finally, Wuzhai is successfully defeated by Xiaohui. The edge of the seal, where Zhang is right now, is being hit hard by their conflict. As Zhang draws his sword underwater, he wastes no time sending the three spirits to death. After successfully overcoming those attempting to prevent him from entering the seal, Zhang finally moves on. Wuzhai wants to fight Wang Heng in round 2. He jumps into midair and releases a lightning strike which Xiaohui blocks off with his sword. Still, he eventually gets affected as he becomes dormant. Wang Heng recalls a smaller child pleading with him not to abandon her. This brief buzz provides Wuzhai with a chance to attempt to swallow Wang Heng. However, Wang frequently experiences memories of his childhood spent with Xiaobai. By the time he woke up, Wuzhai had swallowed him entirely. The ship's signal meters are severely damaged, making them virtually worthless since they can't track the seal. The general observes Heng being poised to be devoured by Wuzhai once the screen has been adjusted. Just in time, Zhang confronts Wuzhai and tells him to back off. Zhang attempts to strike him with a magical sword blazing with fire. Wuzhai uses a magic ball to create a solid shield, making it difficult for Zhang's sword to penetrate. Nevertheless, Zhang keeps striking the shield, but it still remains solid even when Zhang summons enormous fire. Zhang erupts a fire attack from beneath like a volcano. The general attempts to keep everything from Xiaobai up on the ship, but it's too late. Zhang is enraged and, in a deplorable move, attacks Wuzhai while threatening him from inside the seal. And Zhang attacks Wuzhai with all of his might. A younger Wang Heng is revealed to be a prince residing in a palace in Xiaohui's flashback. One of the queen's maids approaches the monarch and informs her that there are rumors that the princess is possessed by a wandering spirit and needs to be slain. When a messenger enters and announces that the populace has gathered to dispute the princess' presence, the queen is telling Wang Heng to take care of his sister. Wang Heng the evil spirit, Xiaohui the young warrior, and the prince Wang Heng remembers were all stumbling around in Wuzhai's stomach somewhere in the night. Xiaobai discovers her brother's disappearance once she is back on board. The prince recalls his sword training in Wuzhai's gut. The prince and princess have fled the palace since it has become too violent for them to remain there. The Jinko cannon has been readied. Lushu explains to Xiaobai that Wang Heng was an evil spirit that killed numerous people. The spirit hunters were powerless to stop him. As a result, the boundary realm destroyed his memories and imprisoned him. Lushu deceives Xiaobai into thinking Xiaohei is not her brother. Xiaohei recalls that in the past, the prince and princess were nearly killed by someone they trusted. The fox spirit inside the princess suddenly appears and defeats the men. In a subsequent flashback, the prince and princess were hiding. When his sister receives a charming toy in the shape of a flower from Xiaohei, Xiaobai declines to play with it. She conceals the toy, nevertheless, and advises Xiaohei to go to the autumn festival in the hopes of finding some food for the two of them. She accepts the gift and bids Xiaohei farewell as he departs. The fox spirit suddenly emerges from the princess and is met by Lushu and another warrior. While purchasing mooncakes for his sister, Xiaohei overhears some villagers discussing the capture and impending torture of the princess of the previous dynasty. In the middle of the palace grounds, Xiaobai is discovered by Xiaohei as she runs. The spirit hunters are forced to let the princess be killed by the royal guards since the fox spirit won't leave her body. In the end, the people kill both Xiaohei and his sister after he observes his sister being torn to pieces. Xiaohei finds it hard to accept that the ghost hunters have just used him as a weapon to seal Wang Heng. Xiaobai is forced to observe back on the ship as other ghosts break the seal. The general and Lushu get ready to fire the cannon. When he is ridiculed as Wang Heng, Xiaohei remembers his previous existence. Zhang is still battling Wu Zhai outside. This time around, Zhang is about to finish Wu Zhai off as he strikes him with his sword. Lushu gives the general the order to launch the cannon as the seal gets wider. When Xiaobai begs Lushu to hold out just a bit longer, the spirit hunter slaps her. Lushu advises that they prioritize their safety in the human realm before waiting for Zhang and Xiaohei. To Lushu's shock, Xiaobai leaps in out of frustration. Xiaohei attempts to hit Wang Heng from inside Wu Zhai's stomach, but Wang Heng deflects every blow. While appearing to be transported to a different location, Xiaohei continues to deny that this is his final moment. Meanwhile, Zhang is successful in hurting Wu Zhai outside. He gets torn apart from the inside before he can kill him. Zhang marvels as Wu Zhai appears to be devoured by another being concealed by a smoke cloud, until Wang Heng emerges. Kuro is actually Chad, who killed many humans in the past. But the evil spirit could not be destroyed, so the Ghost King removed his memory and gave him a new life as a warrior. Now somehow the 100 Ghost Seal is broken. While breaking the 100 Ghost Seal, Chad uses his spirit to take control of Kuro's body to get his revenge. Chad strongly believes that the Boundary Realm has taken advantage of his powers and decides to take back what they owe him. On the other hand, the Ghost King Jiraiya wants to settle all grudges in a peaceful manner. However, Chad just wants to destroy the word and absorb the energy from the Ghost Seal. Jiraiya does his best to try to calm Chad down and convince him to leave, but Chad just wants his justice and attacks him. The longer they stay, the higher the chances of both dying. Jiraiya decides to finish everything as fast as possible and get out by restraining Chad and using the Ghost Behead blade. However, Kaneko steps into it and enters Chad's mind. On the outside, Chad is controlling Kuro. However, he could hear his sister Kaneko calling by his name. She wants him to go back, but on the other side, there's also his sister from his past life, who accuses him of leaving her alone. Chad, on the other hand, starts to absorb even more power from the Ghost Seal and transforms into Godzilla. Chizuru watches the monster on top of a flying ship. Jiraiya heads there and suggests using the Jinko cannon to attack the monster. However, they still have to retrieve Kaneko, who's currently inside the monster. Jiraiya requests Chizuru to distract the monster so he can go and rescue Kaneko. Chizuru tries her best to defend against the monster. However, she cannot hold it for long. On the other side, Master Mei goes to meet Master Kazutora, who's keeping an eye on Tianchai's happenings. Kazutora is planning to gather manpower and send help to Tianchai. However, Mei believes that Jiraiya's plan will fail. She suggests that it's not a bad option to sacrifice Kaneko's life in order to kill the monster and the other ghosts in the seal. Inside, Jiraiya fights the evil ghosts in his way and searches around for Kaneko. Finally, he notices that Kaneko is stuck inside the crystal on Godzilla's chest. Jiraiya rescues Kaneko and Satoru initiates the firing of the Jinko cannon, which targets the monster and causes a huge explosion. When the smoke finally settles down, the monster is seen standing still. Jiraiya decides to hand over Kaneko to Chizuru and goes back to defeat the monster. He uses a special technique he learned from Master Bai to send Godzilla to the afterlife. Kuro's body falls and he's transferred to the hospital along with Kaneko. On the other end, Saoji, the one who initiated the breakage of the Ghost Seal, is still alive, smiling like a maniac. Jiraiya informs Kazutora about the breaking of the seal which caused the escape of 100 ghosts. Shiro is kept under treatment, But Jiraiya believes that if Kuro's memory is recovered, then his relationship with Kaneko may not be maintained further. A month has passed since the incident. Jiraiya informs Kaneko about Kuro getting discharged from the hospital and tells her that they should take care of each other. She prepares lunch for him and rushes to pick him up from the hospital. But Kuro is worried about setting up a house as they have just moved out of the Ghost King mansion. Kaneko, on the other hand, is feeling uneasy because they aren't real siblings. She keeps talking to Kuro about the time they spent together. But deep inside her heart, she's afraid of breaking apart from him. Meanwhile, mysterious creatures attack two warriors who have entered the human world for a mission. Kuro and Kaneko meet Jiraiya, who takes them to Osamu, who's a master blacksmith of the underworld with the ability to craft powerful weapons. Jiraiya asks Osamu to craft metal gloves for Kaneko to help her control her powers. Leaving the girl there, Jiraiya takes Kuro to talk about the incident that happened 1,000 years ago. At that time, Jiraiya was dealing with life and death every day, and he didn't have time to protect Kaneko, so he decided to release Kuro, the 100th ghost, from the seal so he could take on the responsibility of protecting her. When they go back to Kaneko to explain the situation to her, she has inherited an unlimited spirit power that she can't control. If it's not sealed, then it can cause huge destruction. Kuro rushes towards the lab when he hears a sound. The spirit power seems to be rejecting the seal. But then the lab door opens and Jiraiya comes out carrying her. Meanwhile, Master Mei is informed about the disappearance of the two warriors who went to the Earth realm. After getting her powers sealed, Kaneko goes with Kuro to complete the given task of collecting human souls. Kuro ends up killing a bunch of illegal businessmen in just minutes. When they return back to the Boundary Realm to submit souls, other warriors make fun of them as they have never completed a mission before. However, the receiver gives a bonus to Kuro and Kaneko, but also tells them to be careful of other warriors who try to steal souls from others. After surviving the attack in Tianchai, Saoji has joined hands with a powerful devil named Nagito, who has gathered a team of ghosts that escaped from the seal. He sent two evil ghosts to investigate the human world. They are the ones responsible for the disappearance of black and white warriors. However, they have not brought in who Nagito is looking for. Moreover, a spy has stalked them, but one of Nagito's subordinates captures her. The spy is also one of the escaped ghosts who willingly joins Nagito's team. Nagito gives Saoji another chance and asks him to search in the Boundary Realm for the person he's looking for. Kuro and Kaneko go to the ice cream parlor to celebrate their success. There, the sister notices a spirit hunt team nearby. Suddenly, the ghost they captured rushes towards Kuro, but the team captures him in time. Suddenly, Kuro gets a hallucination in which he sees his loved ones dead and Chad accuses him of their murder. Fortunately, his sister brings him back into reality and requests him to eat dinner in a restaurant. The server at the restaurant asks them about the number of tasks he has completed. She gets shocked and impressed when he says 100. It's the highest number any warrior did in one day. His sister interrupts them and asks him to order food, but he starts having similar hallucinations once again. He excuses himself and rushes outside while his sister follows him. He sits down in a corner of the street where he meets Saoji, who attacks Kuro, but he can't defend himself well. Saoji starts mocking him, which enrages Kuro, waking up the evil spirit inside him. He kills both of his opponents, but he doesn't tell anything to his sister. She doesn't ask much either, as she already knows about his identity as an evil ghost. Nagito is informed about the failure of Saoji and sends another powerful ace to complete the mission. The spirit hunt team attacks a house to capture a wandering ghost. Unfortunately, they didn't know their target was Muzan, the 9th ranked ghost from the seal. The news of missing black and white warriors in the human realm have spread in the whole city. Kazutora believes that the reason behind this chaos is the escaped ghosts. He advises the black and white warriors to be cautious, especially those who are on duty in the human realm. Kuro and Kaneko are watching the news together. She gets worried about the situation, but her brother assures her that he will always protect her. They decide to continue their duty and go to the human realm to complete their next task. This time, they need to collect the soul of a female athlete. She is about to die in the middle of a race due to excessive drug intake. He tells her about the situation, but she doesn't take it seriously and goes to take part in the race. Kuro tells his sister that she should do the current task so she can learn about it. The race is about to start. The girl who will die just wants to get good grades and pursue higher level athletics. She wishes to have a large income so she doesn't have to rely on others. The race starts and Kuro is waiting for the right moment. But suddenly the black and white warriors who accused him of cheating capture the girl's soul. He gets angry at them for stealing the soul from them. But the other warriors don't care. They just love killing people. They attack the siblings when Kaneko calls them disgusting. The douches are ready to even kill them since many warriors are missing already. A douche puts down Kuro and is about to cut his head. His sister can't stand back anymore and prepares herself to attack. Suddenly someone's entrance interrupts them. The evil ghost Musen. Jiraiya investigates Musen's case until he's informed that they have lost contact with 2 warriors in the human realm. Meanwhile, in the human realm, Kuro decides to take advantage and escape with his sister while some warriors fight Musen. They can hold the evil ghost for a while, but they will eventually get wiped. Kaneko is shocked at how easily Kuro is letting so many die. He didn't even save the athlete, even though he knew that she was not really an evil person. She asks him why he has become so cold but doesn't get an answer. After killing the other 2 warriors, Musen follows the siblings. Kuro thinks that his identity of being an evil ghost is revealed, but Musen is not after him. He's after his sister and intends to capture her to bring her to Megiddo. He injures Kuro, which awakens the evil spirit, who attacks back. Musen's regeneration makes the evil spirit attacks look like a joke. He recognizes Chad's spirit and wants to eat it to get more power. Kaneko comes on the way to sacrifice herself for her brother. Her gloves break away, releasing a huge amount of spirit force. Jiraiya gets aware of it and thinks of a way to save the warriors. When Kuro opens his eyes again, it's night already in the human realm. He looks around but can't see either Musen or his sister. Kaneko finds herself in a strange place where she meets her parents. They tell her to get ready to go and meet Kuro in the library. She happily dresses up nicely and leaves the house. She's imagining an ideal life. When she opens her eyes again, she sees herself in another place. There's a huge pillar with a girl sitting on it who is identical to her. Suddenly, she hears Kuro's voice and comes back to reality. Her powers have caused a huge blast, and she's standing in the middle of the destroyed area surrounded by glowing spirit light. Kuro tells her not to worry as Jiraiya will reach them soon, but she believes the end is near. She tells Kuro to leave her alone as her uncontrollable power, even if it costs him his life. He promised to never leave her side. Fortunately, Jiraiya reaches in time to seal her powers, bringing everything back to normal. The siblings do great in completing their tasks and celebrate it with ice cream. However, after knowing that they are not siblings, Kaneko has started to get a little shy of Kuro's affection. When it's time for the Ghost Festival, the 2 wear traditional dresses and proceed to enjoy the festival. They visit different stalls and enjoy themselves to the fullest. Kaneko ties a ribbon to the wish tree but keeps her wish a secret from Kuro. After that, they go to a jade shop where she likes a pair of yin-yang necklaces which are said to join fates and are usually given to the person you love. Kuro pays for the necklaces while she rushes out to see the fireworks. She bumps into Mei and her disciple FUFU. FUFU claims Kaneko is just a danger to everyone, and because of that everyone will leave her side. Kuro finds her sitting near the wish tree. She feels sad for missing the chance to see the fireworks with her partner. Hearing this, he rushes back to request another round of fireworks and brings back some crackers to light them with her. She suddenly starts crying and tells him that Mei is her mother, who abandoned her because of her uncontrollable powers. She believes that she can prevent others from getting hurt by her just by dying. But our pickup artist, Kuro, brings out the yin-yang necklaces and puts one on her. He tells her that their fates are intertwined and that they will stay together forever. She smiles at him and holds his hand while watching the fireworks. Meanwhile, Chizuru investigates the 2 evil ghosts who have entered the boundary realm and caused a fire in different parts of Fengdu City. She figures out that the intention of the evil ghosts is to attempt a demonic summoning, and that their next target is the mansion of the Ghost King, Saoji, who is still alive and ready to proceed with the demonic summoning. He gets caught by the fake siblings, aka our new couple, who beat the hell out of him, since the West Devil can't enter the boundary realm. So he has sent the evil ghosts to form the magic matrix. If the last point is destroyed beforehand, then the matrix will not be completed and demonic summoning can be stopped. Chizuru and Satoru rush to execute their plan, but the 5 empires of ghosts have ordered them to leave this matter to the Narc. The Saoji whom Kuro had beaten was just a clone, and his other body had already completed the demon summoning, resulting in the creation of a huge gate. The devil Megiddo, who is banished from hell, finally enters the boundary realm. He stops time and says, Kaneko, I am your father. Kuro and Kaneko always thought they were siblings until the last incident. But when the ghost seal was broken, Kuro recovered his memory and found his true identity. He's one of the 100 evil ghosts that were imprisoned at Tianchai Island. The Ghost King Jiraiya had removed his memory and given Kuro the task of protecting Kaneko by being his brother and partner. Now Chad lies in Kuro's body and wakes up occasionally. On the other hand, Kaneko is Mei's daughter. She abandoned Kaneko because of her uncontrollable powers. When Tianchai's seal was broken, several ghosts managed to escape to summon the Gate of Hell. It opened the gate of hell and welcomed the notorious demon Najito, who is Kaniko's father. Many deadly demons are entering the boundary realm through the gate of hell. Najito calls it a welcoming ceremony for his daughter to join the world she belongs to. The deputy ghost King Satoru attacks the demons along with his hunting team. On the other side, Kiro changes into his Chad mode and puts a protective barrier around Kaniko. He monkeys around and manages to kill several monsters. Najito tells Kaniko that she's the princess of the western demonic world. Her father wasn't allowed to come to the boundary realm, but now with the gate, he can take her back to his kingdom. Kaniko doesn't want to go and insists on staying with her brother. However, Najito uses his powers to change her clothes and hypnotize her to make her obedient. Kiro tries to make his best you shall not pass impression, but he's weak AF compared to Najito. He's like those annoying mosquitoes, just a pain in the head. Literally, because Najito breaks his horns. On the other side, Jiraiya is enjoying his cozy time in jail. Luckily, Jiraiya and Chizuru come over right in time to stop Najito from taking away Kaniko. Chizuru disguised herself and helped Jiraiya escape his soap time in jail, since he was charged for breaking the ghost seal and for leaving Chad to walk around, even though he didn't have his memories. 5 ghost lords control the boundary realm: Sawada, Hirako, Yamamoto, Shiro, and Itami. Moreover, Yamamoto is like, let the Jiraiya deal with Najito, and the problem is solved. But Sawada reveals that Jiraiya is in jail and Mei is in the human realm. Basically, everything is fudged. Suddenly, R2-D2 runs into the room to inform everyone that one envoy is coming there to take the blame for Najito's escape. Meanwhile, Jiraiya is fighting against the demons to protect Kaniko and Kuro. His great fighting skills and spirit powers impress Najito, and who also admires Jiraiya's concern for his daughter. However, Najito wants a gentleman's agreement. He wants to leave with Kaniko and nobody gets hurt, get it? Suddenly, an aircraft arrives with the Queen's Guard and another marshal ring. Clearly, the Queen's Guard hat is to avoid showing off his small-brained head because instead of beating Najito, he wants to capture Jiraiya. He clearly doesn't know his job is to actually take Najito down. Jiraiya is like, okay mate, you're too dumb to know how to perform your job. He also asks Najito if Kaniko will stay safe until the day comes. Najito gets surprised. He wants to know how much information Jiraiya got. But instead of giving an answer, he just gets the F out with his daughter. Jiraiya tells Chizuru to leave with Kuro while he uses his spirit power to escape the squad. He hides in an underground subway station, but Rin finds him and asks Jiraiya to surrender, because for some reason the evil king can destroy their realm. But Jiraiya, hell no, you got to pay for allowing 2 kids to play around. However, Jiraiya doesn't want to give up so easily. He advises Rin that the boundary realm should stop wasting time investigating him, and should start worrying about doing their job right. Since there's a great disaster incoming, he decides to attack Jiraiya with his fart fighting skills. Jiraiya notices the subway start to disintegrate and just gets the F out. After getting away from Rin, Jiraiya runs into Saoji, who is interested in the big thing Jiraiya seems to know about. The Queen's Guard orders a team to surround Chizuru's hectic barrier, as he believes Jiraiya will come there eventually. Meanwhile, Kuro wakes up and wants to bring Kaniko back. Chizuru tells him that he can't do it alone and he should entrust Jiraiya to bring her back. Moreover, Najito will not do any harm to Kaniko until a specific time. On the other side, Lord Yami arrives from hell to offer compensation for the destruction Najito caused. But the boundary realm has already prepared a huge invoice. Yami asks for mercy as Najito wasn't an easy criminal to keep. He also asks for the Ghost Lord's help in capturing him again. However, Yamamoto believes it's the sole responsibility of hell to bring Najito to justice. Through Chizuru, Kuro gets to know why Najito is after Kaniko. She's the daughter of the most powerful demon Najito, and the most powerful marshal from the boundary world, Mei. Kaniko has a combination of evil and spiritual powers. Just by putting her 2 hands together, she can destroy all 3 realms. Therefore, her hands are kept sealed. Kuro's Chad Ghost was in pain for not being able to protect his sister in his past life. Therefore, he will do anything to protect Kaniko since he considers her his sister. This was the reason behind Jiraiya releasing Chad the 100th ghost from the seal. Yami is worried about dealing with Najito alone and believes that it will be easier if he gets help from someone from the boundary realm. It's Yami's lucky day as the person who's driving the car is no other than Jiraiya, who's willing to help. Meanwhile, Chizuru takes Kuro to another part of her house where she has set up another barrier, creating a separate zone for training. Chizuru is actually more skillful than she looks. Once she even qualified for the title of Ghost King. But later she gave away half of her Kai spirit to Jiraiya to help him increase his strength. Chizuru tells Kuro that he needs the right skills and tools to beat Najito, and Jiraiya has prepared a secret weapon for him. It's a powerful sword called Beishu. Beishu is a sword that absorbs spiritual Kai continuously, so it's perfect for Kuro, who has Chad's unlimited Kai. Chizuru tells Kuro that having a high amount of Kai is still nothing special. He needs to control his spiritual Kai to become a stronger warrior, to become a real Super Chad. She decides to show off her spiritual control and helps him become stronger. Outside her house, the commanders successfully broke the barrier. They also find a secret passage that may lead them to the place where Chizuru is. The passage commanders followed has actually taken them to the point where they started from. However, Jiraiya has already reached Chizuru. He has also brought Yabi, who will help them enter Hell. But saving Kaneko will be their own responsibility. As Jiraiya and Chizuru aren't familiar with Hell, Saoji has also joined their plan to help as a guide. Kuro doesn't trust Saoji, but he tries to convince everyone that he was forced by the evil ghosts. He desires to compensate them by doing the right thing. The Queen's Guard informs Yamamoto that Jiraiya and the others have escaped. He also wants to inquire with the Hell Envoys about the Hell energy felt in Chizuru's residence. Mei has also come to meet Yamamoto. She gets angry because nobody informed her about Najito. She leaves enraged and tells her disciple Fufu to stop following her as she has decided to take help from someone else. Kuro and the gang reach Hell. Saoji tells them that they need to cross the River of Misery to reach the Red Dragon State where Najito's realm is located. They all get on a ship that will take them across the river. The Red Dragon State is at the deepest point of darkness in the shadow left by God's light. The location of the place keeps changing according to the position of the shadow. The Red Dragon State can't be pinpointed and is a place out of law. Mei, on the other side, goes into the White Mountains and kills 3 of the evil ghosts, including Najito's most powerful follower. She is on a journey to meet Chiyu, the king of 100 evil ghosts who has just escaped the seal. He's also Mei's father, but he was sealed by Master Bao due to his evil deeds. Chiyu has the power to invade the whole hell. Fufu informs Yamamoto, as she doesn't want Mei to get in trouble. Yamamoto decides to stop Mei and heads out with Sawada and Hirako. Kuro and others cross the River of Misery and meet a creepy man who introduces himself as the Mountain Ranger. He tells them that reaching Najito's castle isn't just crossing the river. They have to pass through several areas until they finally reach Najito's castle. They need a tamed gargoyle to fly to the Orchard of Abundance. Jiraiya is surprised why the ranger has told them the whole way. But it doesn't matter to him, as the ranger is planning to kill them all and attacks with water from the River of Misery. This water can cause the wounds to ooze and also wakes up traumas from one's past. Kuro and others defend themselves from getting hit, but the ranger has moistened the air they are breathing, which makes them short of breath and reminds them of the past. Jiraiya remembers a time when he was in the human realm. He was a student of a big scholar in his childhood. The scholar believed in living a peaceful mortal life, but Jiraiya was different. He chose to work as an official to rule the country to make it a better place to live. Kuro remembers his past life where he left his sister to get food, but she got executed till Kuro returned. Chizuru was the warrior who had gotten her first task of capturing the 1,000 years old fox spirit in Kuro's sister. Jiraiya was also there at the same place waiting for the official exams, but he got rejected. The selection officer believed that Jiraiya had a demonic appearance because of his white hair and the scar on his face. For this dumb reason, his dreams were shattered. He was thrown out of the exams regardless of his skills. These past traumas make Kuro and others deeply suffer. Meanwhile, Mei has reached where Chiyu is. He is using Shaogo as a temporary body to keep his soul until his own body can fully recover. Mei tells him that she has come here to make a deal with him. In the past, after collecting the soul, Chizuru had taken pity on Kuro and came back to see him. Suddenly, Kuro's resentment started building up and he converted into a starving ghost. This thought brought Chizuru back into the present, and she uses barriers to wake up everyone else. The Mountain Ranger hasn't given up yet and uses water to create several water puppets. Jiraiya uses his fire spirit to kill all the water puppets in one strike. Because, you know, fire beats water, it's scientific. However, the ranger just creates more of the puppets in mere seconds. His intention is to exhaust Jiraiya's spiritual Kai and others to defeat them. But this guy doesn't know Kuro has unlimited spiritual Kai. He takes the lead. Jiraiya aids him by giving him his fire spirit to make it easier for Kuro to defeat the water puppets. Still science bro. Kuro pierces through the ranger's chest with his sword, who disintegrates and releases a gem that converts into a gateway to the next area. Chizuru tells Jiraiya that she remembers the time they met. After getting wounded by Chad, Chizuru was found by Jiraiya in the forest. She was surprised how Jiraiya could see her, but suddenly she remembered about her partner, who actually died during the fight with the evil ghost. Jiraiya consoled her and they shared their story with each other along with motivating each other to continue on the path towards their goal. The evil ghost found them and proceeded to attack. Chizuru told Jiraiya to run away and she went to fight the ghost. The external attack on the evil ghost had no effect, so Chizuru decided to eat the sun pellet and then destroy the ghost from inside her body by sacrificing herself. However, Jiraiya snatched the pellet and ate it. He didn't want to let Chizuru end her life. Moreover, he wanted to die while helping others, which makes total sense to end his own life while rescuing the girl. After eating the pill, Jiraiya let the ghost eat him and blasted himself. Hearing this, Jiraiya wants to share something with Chizuru, but they don't have time as they need to continue their journey towards the castle. Meanwhile, Mei is transferring her spiritual Kai to her father to make his recovery faster. She is determined to provide as much Kai as needed if Chiyu fulfills what she demands. Chiyu agrees as he wants her help to destroy all 3 realms. Suddenly, the 3 lords reach there along with Fufu. Hirako asks Mei how she can collaborate in such a monstrous deed and deceive the Boundary Realm. Even though Mei is the daughter of the ravenous ghost and had an affair with the Demon King, the Emperor of the Boundary Realm let her go, and now she has gone against the people who were so kind to them. Yamamoto asks Mei to surrender and hand herself over to justice. However, Mei has already made up her mind and does not intend on giving up until her desire is fulfilled. Miko's mother, Mei, has joined hands with the King of Evil Ghosts and her father, Chiyu. The 3 lords of the ghosts have come to stop her from destroying the 3 realms. Lord Yamamoto orders the other 2 lords, Sawada and Hirako, to defeat Chiyu while he takes care of Mei. He also instructs Fufu to look after Chiyu's real body under recovery, because Chiyu is temporarily using another body to keep his soul. Sawada warns Chiyu to give up, as the weak body of Shago he has possessed can't stand for long against the lords. However, Chiyu doesn't seem scared at all. On the other side, Mei uses her wood spirit to form a huge flower. It shoots lasers while Yamamoto throws a flood of metal spears in return. Mei seems to lose strength and backs out. Yamamoto moves to help other lords in capturing Chiyu. He makes a spear with his own spirit and pierces Chiyu. The spear powers restrain Chiyu's spiritual powers. Yamamoto is willing to bet his life on defeating the demon. He asks Sawada and Hirako to combine their spirits to form a spiritual beast to kill Chiyu. The beast holds a huge spear and proceeds to attack, but suddenly it gets interrupted by a sudden strike from the nearby mountains. Mei tricked Yamamoto into believing that she was defeated. She breaks the combined spirit formation of the lords, which eventually kills the other 2. Yamamoto declares her as their sworn enemy and wants to take revenge. Before he could, Fufu uses Yamamoto's own spear to kill him. Chiyu uses the newly dead lord's soul to restore his body back. Meanwhile, in hell, the pyramid spirit of God has positioned himself over the darkness and tended. It happens after every 144 years, and this day is called the Day of Arrival of Demons. This is the day Jiraiya mentioned before. Kiro doesn't have much time left, and he has to save Kaneko as soon as possible. Gon, one of Nejito's followers, informs his king about Kiro's gang arrival. Nejito likes their bravery and sends Gon to take care of them. Finally, Nejito's most wanted day has arrived. He calls his daughter and removes the hypnosis. As soon as she gets back to her senses, she begs him to let her go. But our bad guy needs her to complete his genius 200 IQ plan, which rarely works well. He grows a tree of blasphemy from the seed Mei gave him, and that tree swallows Kaneko. Parenting goals in a nutshell. Kiro and others are passing through a graveyard surrounded by lava. They come across and Sue, the tomb keeper. She basically lives near lava and she ain't even that hot. When she opens her mouth, she's annoying AF. She attacks Kiro and his mates with an illusion that causes the victim to remember their past life's death. As Chizuru has never died before, so the illusion has no effect on her. Chizuru fights and Subatgon also joins the battle. Meanwhile, Chiyu's real body is finally taking shape, though Chiyu promised not to harm Xiaogo's body. As soon as he got back to his body, he eats up Xiaogo. Gon is basically a person struggling with alcohol addiction who drinks at work. Jiraiya warns everyone to be careful and takes the lead to face Gon. They are left with very little time in which they can stop Nejito's plan. Kiro says that he doesn't care about whatever Nejito plans. He just wants to bring back Kaneko, but Nejito will never let her go as she's the key part of his plan. He wants to use the Tree of Blasphemy to grow a new world of darkness and demons, but he needs a huge amount of spiritual Kai. So, as a truly loving and caring parent, he's gonna sacrifice his own daughter. Meanwhile, Jiraiya's body starts to get weird as one of his spirits goes crazy. The spirit is waking up along with its life's memories. In his past life, Jiraiya ran into Chiyu, who introduced himself as the strongest god of war and gave Jiraiya a part of his soul, just for Jiraiya to change his view of the world. What a nice guy. Chiyu wanted Jiraiya to realize that the world is in an urge for destruction and calamity instead of salvation. Jiraiya is reminded of these experiences because Chiyu has fully reincarnated. Now everything is doomed because he's on his way to destroying all 3 realms. Let's go. Let's destroy the world party incoming. Chiyu finally reaches the Boundary Realm entrance and is ready to start the destruction. Geez, this world is full of crazy people. Don't they know that if they destroy the world, they also disappear? Queen's Guard has prepared a formation to stop Chiyu and has gathered a huge army as well. However, the 2 Ghost Lords basically just sit in the first row with some popcorn. Chiyu absorbs the souls of the troops while Queen's Guard is defending his formation with a protective barrier. They don't stand a chance at all in front of Chiyu's tremendous amount of power. Suddenly, Master Kazutora comes over. However, he's like, "Yo, Brew, I can't fight you. I just want to know your reasoning behind this." Chiyu just says he wants revenge because he was sealed by Kazutora, which made him feel lonely. Suddenly, the ground breaks and a huge beast rises from it. It's a ravenous ghost who couldn't be put inside the ghost seal due to his huge size. Therefore, he was buried in Fengdu City. Along with him, Chiyu is ready to destroy the Boundary Realm. Kazutora tries to point out that Chiyu is sealed because he's a bad guy who wants to destroy the world. I wonder how destroying the world will make him feel less lonely. Satoru comes over with 5 powerful Jinko cannons and attacks Chiyu. But Chiyu defends all of them with just one hand. He has grown stronger than he ever was and has become unstoppable. Oh well, everything seems doomed. Meanwhile in Hell, Kuro and others are rushing to pass through Gon and Insu as soon as possible. They can't waste time, but their opponents are Negito's loyal puppets. Gon and Insu were declared demons in their childhood and were punished to get burned alive. This made Gon develop an intense hatred toward the world. He wished to go to Hell and become real demons to destroy the whole world. Negito saved them at that time and invited them to join his plan of the world's destruction. Chizuru and Jiraiya managed to defeat Gon and Insu and hand over the resulting spiritual stones to Kuro. Now he can finally be the real hero. He can now beat his girl's dad to save her. Saoji just gets the hell out because his task of guiding them into Hell is already done. But now, Jiraiya has to go back to fight Chiyu. Chizuru decides to follow him as a real waifu should. Jiraiya once had lost his life in fighting the ravenous ghost. However, Chizuru gave him half of her soul, which is still a better love story than Twilight. Jiraiya arrives in the Boundary Realm and Queen's Guard gives him back the status of the Ghost King. Didn't I previously tell you his long hat is to cover his small head? Jiraiya tries to reason with Chiyu, saying he's the boy whom Chiyu gave a part of his soul. Chiyu on the other end is like an Asian parent when his kid fails at math. He gets disappointed that Jiraiya hasn't changed at all. Just a little kid who is still in an urge to save the world. Jiraiya is like, "But I'm the chosen one. I'm the one who should defeat you." The Queen's Guard and his troops take their positions to face Xingtian while Jiraiya is ready to put in all his efforts to defeat Chiyu. Meanwhile, Mei and Fufu reach Negito's castle. Mei attacks Negito but can't proceed to kill him. Negito tells her that she still loves him. When he walks closer and hugs Mei, she gets emotional and puts her guard down. However, Negito is just a merciless demon who doesn't love anyone at all. He stabs her and snatches out the second seed of the Tree of Blasphemy. Negito intends to merge Mei's Kai with Kamiko to grow the Tree of Blasphemy strong enough to destroy the heavens and gods. Unexpectedly, Mei sacrifices Fufu to interrupt the growth of the Tree of Blasphemy. She simply says, "I'm sorry, mate. I've only taken you in as my happy puppy for this moment." Fufu dies with the satisfaction of helping her lord, whom she served her whole life. As the growth of the Tree of Blasphemy is interrupted, it starts to wither down and sets Kamiko free. Fortunately, Kamiko gets a chance to hear her mother's last words. Mei never intended to abandon her. Kamiko has the strongest combination of spiritual Kai that can destroy all 3 realms. All because of her mom, dad, and grandfather. They wanted to protect her from the tragedy of the Tree of Blasphemy. That's why she always kept her daughter away from herself. In reality, she loved Kamiko. Mei dies, but Negito hasn't given up yet. He transforms into an even more deadly demon and is ready to use Kamiko again to regrow the Tree of Blasphemy. Negito hypnotizes Kamiko, but she breaks away from it when she hears Kuro's voice. He has finally come to save Kamiko. That's my boy. Negito believes that a world ruled by gods is not impressive, and he wants to create a world under his own rule. These bad guys always forget they ain't the main character. Kuro doesn't care who rules the world or even if the world ends. He only cares about Kamiko and he's ready to exceed any limit to save her. Negito defends Kuro's attacks with a barrier, but Kuro transfers a huge amount of his Kai into Beishu and breaks it. Negito had underestimated Kuro, But now he's ready to fight with all his strength. Basically, long non-story short, our protagonist wants to waifu his daughter and her dad wants her to stay single. After getting down from the castle, Nagito surrounds Kuro with powerful spiritual attacks. Back in the Boundary Realm, Jiraiya struggles against Chiyu. Jiraiya is just dodging the attacks while looking for a chance to attack back. Chiyu gets exhausted from this extended fight and attempts to end it. He gathers his strength and creates a red demonic flood to attack Jiraiya. When he sees the flood, Jiraiya closes his eyes and calls the spiritual Kai from the deceased people all around the universe. He gathers it to create a huge spirit beast and defeats the demonic flood. After which, Chiyu believes that Jiraiya must have exhausted his spiritual Kai, but Jiraiya doesn't have only one soul. His own and Chizuru's spiritual Kai may be exhausted, but Jiraiya has another layer of more than 1,000 souls inside him. This is the spiritual Kai of Mei he borrowed. Mei knew that the day of the arrival of demons would come. Therefore, she gave part of her soul to Jiraiya. As she's the blood of Chiyu, so Jiraiya can use her soul to conceal Chiyu's soul in his body. Instead of returning Chiyu part of his soul, Jiraiya intends to do the reverse and absorb the rest of Chiyu's soul. This attempt will cause their death, but that's what Jiraiya wants. He has planned to sacrifice himself to save the 3 realms. Once, Kazutora had a meeting with Mei and Jiraiya to discuss the upcoming day of arrival of demons. Mei told Jiraiya about the intentions of Chiyu and Nagito. She believed Kuro would always protect Kaneko and interrupt Nagito's plans, while Chiyu is destined to be killed by Jiraiya as he owns part of his soul. Mei had planned everything to stop the 3 realms from collapsing. But even if they did, she had the second option as well. There were 2 blasphemy seeds. One was owned by Nagito and the other was kept inside Mei's body. However, she had nurtured a third one called Chaos to regrow the world in case it collapses. But it will also need the sacrifice of Kaneko. Jiraiya starts the process of merging souls. Chiyu hides in a barrier, but it's all in vain. The barrier breaks easily and his soul is being snatched away, making his body disappear gradually. This is Chiyu's destiny as well as Jiraiya's as his body disappears too. The after effects of Jiraiya's attempt kills Xingtian as well, but the 3 realms start to collapse. Seeing this, Nagito gets ready to rule the new world and transforms himself into a huge demonic beast. He believes all those who are against his will don't deserve to be alive. Therefore, he starts his spree by attacking Kuro and burying him under a huge stone. However, Kuro is still alive and gathers his Kai to transform into a wolf spirit. He attacks Nagito with his full might, but Nagito defends himself. He wants to use Kuro's horn to kill him. Kaneko can't stand back anymore and jumps in to save Kuro. She finally grows up into her full form. What a cutie. She stands up to protect the person who matters the most to her. Nagito gets scared of Kaneko's powerful Kai and steps back. The demons under the ground grab Nagito and drag him along with them. Who? WTF really? Is this how the bad guy dies? Saoji appears to give the Chaos Seed to Kuro and tells him that they can grow the Tree of Blasphemy from it and save the 3 realms. However, Kuro refuses to accept it as he doesn't want Kaneko to die. But Kaneko walks forward and takes the seed. Even though she can't stay alive, she wants that world to stay in which she made so many beautiful memories with Kuro. Fortunately, Mei has modified the seed and it will set Kaneko free once it stops growing. However, it can take from 1,000 to 10,000 years. Kuro is willing to wait for that much or even more to get to live with the person he loves the most. 750 years have passed since the incident. Chizuru is living a satisfying life as the mother of Jiraiya's child. Saoji has given up his evil side to live a peaceful life as a marshal. A huge statue is built in the center of Fengdu City as a tribute to the great Ghost King Jiraiya. The newly chosen Ghost King is Kuro, who is spending his life waiting for Kaneko's return. Luckily, he can at least see Kaneko as she's resting in the crystal cage of the Tree of Blasphemy. Little does he know, the crystal is about to crack open soon. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.